All right, hi there. These comments for one of my students, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I just read your independent writing practice test number 5. So the question here is, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Teachers should be paid according to how much their students learn. Give specific reasons and examples to support your opinion. Now, you wrote a lot. You got a lot of information here. And let's take a look at this. Wow, we got 518 words. Unfortunately, your essay is off topic. You haven't really answered the question. The question here is, teachers should be paid according to how much your students learn. Now, what I want to do here, I want to work on your introduction a little bit, right? And what I want to do is to recast the introduction so that it better organizes around the writing task. Then I'll show you how you can create some topic sentences based on that. Right? So you say the education. So education is one of the important jobs. Let's see, which will get graduate, which will, how about equip undergraduate and graduate students with good knowledge. In the reality of life, we have seen a lot of engineers, accountants, and so on you might say all of whom. Notice you can't use which to refer to people. Does that make sense? Which refers to things. So I'm going to say all of whom you might say all of whom learn to become professionals from teachers. I agree with this statement. How about this? That and let's put it here. Let's quote it directly. Let's keep the purpose of your writing very clear. So I agree with the statement that teachers should be paid according to how much their students learn. Okay, I'm going to take this idea here. Let's put it here. Watch this. Now pay attention. I'm going to say, even though there is some controversy should be compensated. I agree with the statement that teachers should be paid according to how much your students learn. Even though there are some people who do value teaching, it has a lot of benefits, but see that? It doesn't really focus on the question. So what I'm doing is showing you how you can make this introduction more focused. Okay, you see what we have? Now I think we have it. So what I did is I'm making some changes in the introduction. What am I doing here? I'm trying to make all of this information here connect back to this question. So education is one of the important jobs which will equip undergraduate and graduate students with good knowledge. In the reality of life, we have seen a lot of engineers, accountants, and so on, all of whom learn to become professional from teachers. Even though there is some controversy about how teachers should be compensated, I agree with the statement that teachers should be paid according to how much your students learn. Paying teachers according to how much your students learn will motivate them to become better educators, and will also help students get a higher quality education. So, notice how instead of putting the counter argument at the end of the paragraph, I put the counter argument before the main part of your sentence, which states your thesis and your reasons. Now let's take a look at the rest of what you've written right here. So there's really not much we can do here, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. It doesn't really focus around the assignment. You say the benefits to be teachers are a lot of benefits you will get in this career. That's not the question. It's not what are the benefits of teaching or how beneficial are teachers. It's whether or not they should be paid according to how students learn. So this does not really answer the question, am I right? You say, on the whole, I'm tired about the importance of teaching and pay them for high salaries. Again, we're not talking about why teaching is important. We're talking about the proper way to compensate teachers. Should they be paid according to how much their students learn? So again, this paragraph doesn't really focus around what we're doing. So we're basically left with nothing. Your essay really doesn't focus on the question. Now, what I want to do now is, now that we have a thesis, right? It says paying teachers according to how much your students learn will motivate them to become better educators and will also help students get a higher quality education. Okay, now what we want to do is we need to take these key points and restate them as topic sentences. So here is your second paragraph. So you might say this: if teachers are paid according to how much your students are learning, these educators will be motivated to continually improve their skills. Now, what you would do here is the whole purpose of this paragraph is to prove this point of why teachers will improve their skills if they're paid more according to how students learn. Okay, now let's go to our next one. Say, in addition, you might say because equality Now you see what I've done now? So this is kind of easy when you think about it. You simply create your thesis. Your thesis comes from here. This is what you did not do. You didn't really create a thesis from the actual statement. This is a trick that you want to try to learn. And then you can take your key points. So in addition, teachers should be paid based on how their students are learning the course content, because it will increase the quality of instruction for the students. So both of these ideas are topic sentences that restate the thesis. Now what I want to do now is I'm going to put together a paragraph to show you how you can unify around one of these key points, which will make your argument a lot stronger. Remember that if you're not focused around the purpose of the writing, then how can you really make an argument? Your argument is kind of irrelevant because it doesn't focus on the writing task. Okay, now that we've made this statement, we need to give an example. So I might say, for example, a biology teacher who is teaching the process of photosynthesis to his students may find on the next test that these pupils may not have mastered the key concepts of this subject matter. If the teacher thinks that his pay may be affected by the students' low test scores, he may be motivated to attend a professional development seminar for biology teachers. After the seminar, this teacher will be better able to teach this subject matter to the next group of students. Therefore, paying the teacher, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and make this connection. So paying the teacher we got it. I think that's good. Now, if we look at what you wrote and we look at what we've wrote here, we can compare if we want, right? So let's take a minute here. Let's see how many words that we have here. So we have plenty. We've got 128 words. Don't need to do much more than that, right? Okay, so let's read it one more time. Okay, so let's compare. I want to read this paragraph here, and then I'm going to read the one that you wrote, your second body paragraph, and then let's go back to the question. So do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Teachers should be paid according to how much your students learn. Give specific reasons and examples to support your opinion. So, if teachers are paid according to how much your students are learning, these educators will be motivated to continually improve their skills. For example, a biology teacher who is teaching the process of photosynthesis to his students may find on the next test that these pupils may not have mastered the key concepts of this subject matter. If the teacher thinks that his pay, if the teacher thinks that his pay may be affected by these students' low test scores, he may be motivated to attend a professional development seminar for biology teachers. After the seminar, this teacher will be better able to teach his subject matter to the next group of students. Therefore, paying the teacher according to how much the students are learning motivated him to improve his teaching skills to his students. Right? So then we want to look at your paragraph that you wrote. This is what you wrote in your second paragraph. Some argue that teaching is wasted time and not get any benefits from it. They also have said it's not necessary to go to school or university from beginning. Therefore, they want us to think to open own business. I believe this is kind of an excuse, and their opinion about that is totally not correct. In the fact, the schools or universities are not learning about specific information or in the major only, but you will learn how to manage your time and money. Also, you will learn how to make decisions and make relationships with your friends with easy way too. Therefore, our life be easy to manage it. In the fact, how to do your own business very well if we do not get adequate information about our majors. So the best solution is to go to universities to get a good information in order to be not getting risk in our own businesses. For example, if you want to be an accountant and you want to know the expenses and revenues for your own business, you cannot do very well and know unless go to universities. Therefore, I require from universities and schools to pay salaries to teachers because they spend a lot of time and get fatigued from this career. Also, there is Arabic phrase that said, if we do not get adequate information from teachers, we will be nothing in this life. And by the way, I agree with that statement there. Okay, but does what you write, what you have written here, does it answer this question? It does not, right? So the purpose of these two paragraphs are more clearly framed around the assignment. Now, as you can imagine, I'm not going to spend time on the next paragraph, but of course, the next point would be another 100 words. In addition, teachers should be paid based on how their students are learning the course content because it will increase the quality of instruction for the students. Maybe that's your second argument that you can make. And then, of course, you have a conclusion, right? So maybe another 50 words there, and you're done. Now, the question is, how will you score on this essay? So you better sit down on this one. So I got to be honest with you. It says limited development of ideas as it relate to the topic and task of the writing assignment. I'm going to put you in the one category. I'll be honest with you. You simply didn't answer the question, and even if you did, you have so many severe and frequent errors in sentence structure and usage that it's difficult to understand what you're actually saying. So you're having problems organizing your writing according to the purpose of the task, but you're also having problems expressing your ideas using vocabulary and grammar. Right? So here, I'm going to put you at 1.5 out of 5, or, as it says here, 11 points out of 30. Now, for the purposes of our class, when we go into the syllabus, I'm going to go to page 7 in the syllabus. A score of 1.5 puts you at 58% on this assignment. So think of it like this. This is kind of something you want to think about right now. The fundamental aspect of writing, I think, at the graduate level is you'll get certain tasks, certain purposes, and you want to make sure you achieve that purpose. For example, if your professor is asking you to summarize an article, and then you write a response analysis to it explaining why you agree or disagree with what was said in the article, you're going to get a low score. You haven't done the task. If the professor wants you to summarize, he or she means that you need to objectively, without any opinion at all, break down or explain the most important ideas of the article, right? So you have to make sure that you're doing whatever the writing assignment is. That's kind of basic, and that's not what you did on this assignment. So then, if we go back to my online course, I'm going to give you some suggestions. Okay, now going back to my writing course here, I got some suggestions for you, some things that you can take a look at, which I think can help you, answer the question. So number one is lesson number 1. You want to review that lesson. If you had implemented, I think, the important principles in this lesson, you would not have written the essay that you did. Now, lesson 4, creating sharply focused thesis statements for independent writing tasks. I think that's a good one. Lesson number 4.1, a simple, direct approach to answering the IBT independent writing tasks. I think that would be good for you. Right? The next thing, I think, does your essay meet these 4 criteria? I think this is also a very good lesson for you. And then lesson number 8. So I'm asking you before the final exam to review these specific lessons so that you can create a more organized, essay with appropriate supporting details. That's the first thing you want to do. Now the next thing is you have some limitations with your vocabulary and your grammar. You can change. You can make your vocabulary better. I'm going to explain how you can do that, but it's something that's going to take a few months, probably 2 to 3 months for you to make the progress that you need to make. But if you can make this, if you can improve your vocabulary now, it'll really help you for the rest of your life as long as you need English. So think of my suggestions right now, not just for this quarter, but some things that you can do to help you in the long term. My first recommendation, do what you're already doing. Keep going through the lessons in vocabulary lesson number 3. Then go to vocabulary lesson number 4. Then vocabulary lesson number 5 and vocabulary lesson number 6. You can also complete the quizzes. You can download the audio files. And for the next 2 or 3 months, start learning the words in these lessons. That will make a very big difference in how effectively you will be able to express your ideas in academic writing. Now, in addition to improving your vocabulary, you also need to improve your grammar. My recommendation here, first and foremost, is do the grammar diagnostic pretest in the grammar part of my course. And then that will tell you which of these lessons you need to focus on the most, and then start going through these grammar lessons. And as you go through the grammar lessons, you should keep what's called a grammar journal, where you're actually writing down some of the sample sentences that you're learning, right? And then you can improve. So, I think with your writing that it is possible to improve your writing if you review the writing lessons in this video, and then if you start working on improving both your vocabulary and your grammar, you will be able to improve your writing. Alright, anyway, thank you very much for completing this practice test, and all the best to your high-scoring writing success.